Welcome back to the Vandy Sports Podcast. I'm Joey Dwyer here, joined by Vanderbilt's newest commit, Malik Presley. Malik, welcome on and congrats on the commitment.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first, what led you to Vandy? You had a lot of schools after you early. Obviously, we'll get into your injury later on that probably made some sort of impact in your
Yeah.
life. But first of all, what led you to Vandy and why was it the Commodores that you picked?
Vandy, honestly, they came in kind of late in my recruitment. I had already actually finalized my top three. I had Arizona State, Texas, and A&M as my top three. And then Vandy kind of slid in. And, Coach Miller, he was just, he did a really good job at communicating with Coach Stack, and making the official visit happen. And I had actually been watching them throughout the whole season. I know they had a rough start and they really picked it up towards the end. And, that showed a lot of potential. And that's what really drew my interest. And, like what Stack was doing with the team, like the direction that they were going. And yeah, and then once I got out there, it was just like, the environment, the diversity of the campus. There's so many things that play into it. It's just an amazing school overall. And I just knew it was the right fit for me.
For sure. You talked about that visit a little bit. You were here this past weekend
Mhm.
for the baseball game. We actually got a tip on the board that you were there. I couldn't believe it, but tell me more about that visit and what you saw from Vanderbilt then.
It was amazing. They were real good to me and my family. I actually learned a lot too, what Vanderbilt had to offer, what direction like they were looking, develop me as a player. And really they just checked all the boxes from an academic standpoint and an athletic standpoint.
For sure, you talk about your development. Obviously, you're a guy who could play a lot of different spots. You could play more on the inside because of your athleticism on the offensive end. You could also play on the perimeter. Is there anything that Stackhouse has talked to you about, maybe where you play at the next level?
Um yeah, I would say more the 2 or 3 spot for sure. Definitely want to develop my outside shot a lot more. That's one thing Coach Stackhouse really emphasized. And really just, getting my body ready. I want to put on, I'm looking to put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle throughout the summer. I'm gonna be moving in June 2nd, get straight to work from there.
For sure. How would you describe your game to Vanderbilt fans who may not have seen you yet?
I'm a slasher, 3 and D guy. I can get up and down the floor. I can get up above the rim, play defense, and I can pretty much guard 1 through 5 positions.
Obviously, you're a guy who thrives in transition. What would you
Mhm.
say kind of your favorite transition dunks have been throughout your high school career?
Mm, that's a tough one. I've had a couple. There was there was one. It was an away game. We were playing a school called New Braunfels. It was a sold out gym. It was a rival game. We actually ended up losing. We had split in a conference with them. We went 1-1, but it was on a fast break, and I was about at the white line, and this kid was at half court, and our big man, our five, had threw the ball up to me, and I had caught it. I didn't even. I took like one dribble, and then I cuffed it like that, and then I had brought it back, and I didn't even see this kid coming. And when he had jumped, right on his head, and like it just everybody went nuts. Like that was probably like my most memorable fast break dunk of this season.
For sure. I wanted to touch on that because I think that's a big part of your game that Vanderbilt fans will come to enjoy. You and JQ Roberts are probably two of the better athletes that Vandy's recruited recently. You
Mm.
have a unique story though with obviously having all that interest early and then having that injury to your spleen. Could you take us through that whole process and how that affected you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was a while. It was a freak accident actually. I was in practice. This was before the season had started, and we were still in like preseason, fall ball, fall league. None of the games really counted. But I was going up to block a shot, and one of my teammates, it wasn't his fault at all, but he went up for a layup, and I caught a knee right to the stomach. And apparently my spleen had already been enlarged. So when I got hit, it had got cut open and it caused like internal bleeding. And the doctor said that there was blood leaking into my stomach. And so I had to get that. They didn't have to completely remove it, but they had a clot. They put a clot in it to stop the bleeding. And I was out for about. I know I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. It was a long process. It was pretty bad. It was painful, but yeah, my teammates and Coach Miller, they did a great job of supporting me, and I was back before the start of the season. I played all games. I didn't miss a single game.
That's unbelievable. You don't hear often about something like that. What did you learn through that process? I'm sure a lot of high school guys don't have to go through something like that.
Yeah, I just learned that it was just a little. I learned how to battle adversity. That's what Coach Miller always says. It's just a little adversity. You know, it's nothing we haven't seen. We had dealt with injuries all season. You know, mine was just another injury. You know, something we could overcome. But I just got stuck my head down, stuck with the process, and pull it through.
For sure. You mentioned that you got back quickly after that for the start of the season. Is that affecting you at all still? Are you 100% now, would you say?
Oh yeah, I've been 100%. I would say like maybe the first 3 games, it took me a little, getting back into it. But after that fourth game, I was pretty much back to 100%.
For sure. That's obviously something that a lot of people know about, but what's something that Vandy fans may not know about you or your personality that you'd like them to know?
Um, I would like to know, like, I'm always open. You know, I'm a real friendly guy. So, if they ever want to come talk to me, just have a normal conversation, I'm always here. I'm looking to be active in the community, give back to what Vandy offers me. And, I'm just a good person in general overall.
For sure. Have you been able to talk with any of the 2023 guys? They got to commit last week. Obviously, it's late in the process, but have you talked to any of the
No,
other?
I actually haven't yet, but I'm looking forward to meeting all of them.
For sure. Last thing I have for you, what would your message be to Vanderbilt fans or any of your goals at Vanderbilt?
Definitely, I want to win an SEC championship, no matter how long it takes. I'm loyal to Vandy. I've gave Coach Stackhouse my word. I'm gonna work hard for him and the fans, for the whole community, the whole campus. So, just I'm ready, Vandy. I'm ready.
For sure, man. I appreciate it. Congrats on
Yes,
the
sir.
commitment. Now here with Malik Presley's coach, Daniel Miller, joined. And Coach Miller, obviously, Malik is a guy who Vanderbilt fans are starting to get introduced to. What would you tell them about Malik?
Man, first, you're getting a great young man, high character, high character. Second, just a fun guy. He's going to bring a lot of excitement to Vanderbilt basketball. He plays with energy. He plays with passion. He plays with a big smile on his face, but he's ultra competitive. And he's somebody that's just going to keep getting better. He's extremely athletic at 6'6", long. But learning from Coach Stackhouse and the staff is just going to help him become just a great player in the SEC. So you're getting a great young man, full of excitement, and a heck of a basketball player too.
For sure. He mentioned that you were pretty helpful in his recruitment, and his recruitment was obviously one that was interesting. He cut it down to 3, and then Vandy came in late and obviously secured a commitment. What would you say about his recruitment, and can you kind of just take us through all of that from your perspective?
Yeah, first of all, 2023 recruitment for Division Ones is just different. It's different with the portal, with the COVID year. So you'd get offers sometimes, but they're not a committable offer at the time. Malik, he had a lot, almost double figures offers from big schools. But the ones that were extremely interested in him, then he narrowed that down. And Vanderbilt just did a great job, honestly, of coming in late and showing they had a plan for Malik. They wanted Malik. It's an SEC school, and Malik is, very intrigued about playing in the SEC. And Coach Stackhouse and Coach Fox were just real instrumental in building a relationship with him as our season wound down. And they even Coach Fox flew out for one of our district games. And then when Malik came out to Nashville, I know his family was very impressed with not only the city of Nashville, which they enjoyed, but of course, everything Vanderbilt has to offer with education, which is very important to his family, as both his parents are educators. Yeah, just the complete package. Vanderbilt did a great job. The other schools were phenomenal also. But ultimately Malik felt in his heart the right spot, and I really believe they have found that in a great connection.
For sure. You mentioned that plan of development. Obviously, he's a guy who is a really good athlete, and obviously, he talked about he wanted to work on making shots from the outside a little bit more consistently. Do you think that's kind of the plan that they outlined to you, was just using that athleticism and then expanding from there?
Yeah, and Malik is very capable from three, hit a lot of threes from us this year, but he wants to get, elite at it and become a lot better. So, he'll be in the gym and doing different shooting drills all the way till he heads out there in June. And once he gets with that staff, I know he'll be getting lots of shots up. So I would actually look for Malik to be eventually a knockdown guy in college. But his athleticism, his ability to go get a rebound outside of his area, he can defend multiple positions. And if it's above the rim, Malik will go get it, so that he brings that excitement. But definitely that's something I know he's going to be working on, his shooting and just getting his shooting consistent. But he definitely is already a good shooter. But I know that he wants to take it to become a great shooter.
For sure. You've obviously been a guy who's been around him for at least a little bit. When did you know he was going to be a guy who could play at this level and could do all these things?
So, I've only been here at this school for 2 years, and have known Malik now just under 2 years, I guess, or exactly 2 years. It's been a special 2 years coaching him, and then our other seniors. We have Caden Gums going to Texas State and to be a point guard there, and Javen Kofor going to Coffeyville Junior College, and Matthias going to Concordia to play. So we have 4 seniors going to play. But Malik obviously, has been a right around the top 100 guy in the rankings, depending which one you look, since he's been, maybe a sophomore in high school. So it didn't take long for me to get here and, realize he's a special talent. But what was so encouraging is the first day you work out with him, it's quick to know that he's also a special guy. Because a lot of guys that are that talented, they have these ultra egos and maybe are hard to coach. And there wasn't one bad day. We didn't have a bad day. In 2 years, I hadn't had a bad day coaching Malik. He's just always bringing that energy. He wants to win, and he wants to get better. He wants to be a professional one day. So it's been so much fun coaching him. And he's definitely gonna. I think the fans, the coaching staff there, you all are gonna really enjoy him.
For sure. If you had one word to describe Malik, what would you say about him?
Passionate. He's a passionate guy about basketball, about life, and he brings a high energy, but it's a passion.
For sure. If you were to, I'm sure you have talked to Coach Stackhouse, like you mentioned, but if you were to speak to him about what he's getting in Malik, what would you tell him?
I have, and I just think he's going to get a guy who's going to bring that energy and that passion each and every day. A very athletic wing, but you're playing in the SEC where there's a lot of athletic wings. What's going to separate Malik, why I believe he will make it and be successful, is just his will to win, his will and want to get better. And I think Coach Stackhouse recognized that, and that's why they came in so hard and did a great job with it.
For sure. We touched on this a little bit, but what do you think the next step for Malik's development is? Was it the shot making? Is it something else?
I think honestly, just it's hard, for any 18-year-old to adjust to playing against 23, 22-year-olds. So just getting stronger, getting with the strength coach, getting his diet where he's putting on pounds and muscle. And, I think that's going to be a big thing. And like all freshmen, I don't care who you are, the intensity of college basketball, just to practice, you can be in practice, your very first practice, and realize that everything you do, it's going to be intense. And, I think just those adjustments for Malik, but he won't have a problem with that part. In fact, I know he's going to embrace that part. He wants to get stronger. So the thing about Malik, I think the things he needs to do to get on that court and contribute in a winning way in SEC play, he wants to do, and he's going to embrace those challenges.
For sure. Last thing I have for you, what's something that Vanderbilt fans may not know about Malik that you'd like him to, maybe some off the court personality wise?
He's a lot of fun. I just think he's gonna be a crowd favorite. I really think that just the way he brings that energy and that passion and that part's great. Off the court, Malik's a good athlete. He didn't play football, but I do PE class when I'm not doing basketball, and he comes out here and he's a heck of a quarterback. So, he's not gonna compete with the starting quarterback at Vanderbilt or anything. But if they need a 6'6" guy off the bench to throw a good football, Malik can come in there because he can really throw that thing.
Hey, we'll have to tell Clark Lee to keep that in mind, Coach.
There you go.
And congrats on having the success you've had as a coach so far.
Yeah, thank you very much. And y'all are getting a special one to Malik. I look forward to following out at Vanderbilt.